T, yes, Ramon SEO. To the double T, be fuddling these bookies like 1, 2, 3. They tapping out and we cashing now. It's plain to see. The morning steam is the A-team, Mr. T. And I pity the fools who can't hang. Coming with real game is sort of a freight train. It's been reported bank rolls are easy to maintain. So get situated and listen to the picks. And it goes a little something like this.
And a pleasant good morning to you from Tony'sPicks.com. Welcome to the Morning Steam. I'm Ramon Scott with Rod Zawacki. Rod, thank you for joining me again here. We got a big Thursday, and we can't contain our excitement, obviously. We've had a couple of football games here so far this season, but forget about it. Today's the day. Even if they're just two main board games and, of course, the one big FCS, FBS game everybody's looking forward to, but certainly worth watching a bunch of other FBS, FCS games. We get ready for our first big weekend of action. It feels like a holiday.
Right? It's like a kid at Christmas. You get to, it's like you waited and waited and waited for this time of year, and now you get to open up all the presents. And I'm so excited for week 1 to kick off. I liked week 0. Can't complain. A couple games, get you going, and now we got lots loaded action. Even if there's only a couple of main boards, there's a couple of ones that we can find. We know some of us out here are DJ bettors, and we love to bet our sports and find them winners. So I think we can find a few today.
We're going to dole out some FBS versus FCS, and we won't bore everybody with a bunch of breakdowns of 49-7 games, but maybe there are some edges to be had. I use a lot of power ratings in that, in line moves, in those, in those type of games. Again, a lot of times, Rod, in those games, it's either going to be 49-7 or 56-7 or 56-14, 49-14. It's just a matter of getting the margin right and where your power rating stands. Yeah, there's can be upsets, and we'll talk about the big games too. But hey, baseball does us a solid today. They come in with some daytime action, so we're going to be in action all day. Yeah,
who doesn't love daytime? Daytime sports, so it gets you right into the nighttime action. It's just daytime. It's all day sports. We love it.
And what a night we had last night, man. The baseball was pretty much fire. Maybe not, we definitely brought home some winners here yesterday, but man, the action was pretty awesome yesterday, Rod, with some of those Gabe Jordan, the 3 home runs yesterday. How about the A's? They hit their team total. Their win total yesterday over. Amazing. Given what they've been going through, the home run, the grand slam, Corbin Carroll, and a man who can read the room, Rod, Shohei Ohtani on bobblehead night. Everybody's talking about crowd lined up outside the stadium for 5 miles to get the most wanted.
7 hours. Yeah, 7 hours. I heard some people were waiting in line for an Ohtani bobblehead. That's longer than the Metallica concerts on night 1. So I give it to you for all you diehard Ohtani fans who are out there for 7 hours getting that bobblehead. I give it to you because man,
I'm doing that with the Apple. Let me see if I can do it with the Apple here. I can do a little concert. Whoa.
Yeah, there you go. Right. So 7 hours. I've been there, done that. When you sit there in line for waiting for something, getting that free T-shirt into the baseball game, or you get that jersey, whatever you want. I've been there.
What was the best promotion you've ever been to, Rod? Do you have one?
For me, it was back in the day. I used to watch the Edmonton Trappers. Was the team? They were the farm club of the Angels back in the day. So I definitely got to see. I got to watch Bo Bichette's dad, Dante Bichette, played for the Angels. Some of these Devon White played for the Trappers. So definitely some name guys that got Gabini. What was that? The guy that played in Oakland, his brother. Giambi. We had Jason Giambi, and then he had his brother. And his brother played for the Angel for the Trappers for a bit. That was the best one that I went to. We went and we waited, and we got us a nice Trappers jersey. Jersey giveaway night is what it was. First 500 people into the stadium got a jersey. We were number 1 and 2 into the stadium. Me and Dad got there early. One of those members with Dad that I remember getting. He dragged me. We get up there. He'd buy breakfast, and we'd have breakfast and lawn chairs, and we'd sit there in the front gate. Everybody would be standing, and we'd have patio chairs sitting there ready to go, drinks, cooler. So that way, when everything was time to go, it's just about time to open up. I'd stand there at the lineup. Dad would pack up all the lawn chairs and walk them back to the car, dump them in, and then come back. So we always sat comfortable waiting in those lines for 7 hours. I don't know if it was 7 hours. I remember a good 4 or 5 hours early anyways, enough to get us a nice jersey for the Edmonton.
I always hate when they run out and they give you a little ticket stub to come back. We'll have it for you, but you got to come back. We ran out.
We ran out.
I was going to go with them, but you know what I'm thinking now about some of the worst. Of course, everybody knows some of the worst like Disco Demolition Day was a big thing, and back in the 70s, they tried to blow up a bunch of records at halftime of in between a doubleheader between the Cleveland Indians at the time and the Chicago White Sox. They had to cancel the second game because of the blowing up the records. You had pieces of records all over the field, and the crowd was going crazy, tearing up the field. And then 10-cent beer night was very popular with the fans, Rod, but it didn't go well. That was a VEC exclusive. My worst one was my mom. You talk about going, I was a mama's boy. She'd take me to the game, and it was a bat night. But this was in the 70s, so they had like these wooden bats, and they weren't very good quality. But you didn't know when you're like 7 years old, people were fighting over these bats. It might have actually been, back in the day, maybe some fisticuffs or something.
Somebody got conked with a bat.
Hey, let's say hello. I want to say hello to some of the friends here. They waited patiently. Rod and I just working out the kinks a little bit for our coverage here, not just today, but make sure we give you a good show. So, Lewis, Rod, go ahead and talk about it, Rod. There it is. Big day. I think we gave out a winner here on every game. You said you had a smashing day as well yesterday in the WNBA, if you want to discuss it. But, man, big things doing. And I think it's all about the Indiana Fever for the most part.
They now need the Indiana Fever are now 6 wins away from clinching a playoff spot. So that's definitely they've improved. They've been the drastically improved team from the start of the season, from their 1-8, definitely cruising right along. You can see the Sun were definitely missing their big piece there for the Sun, but they definitely battled. I like the Sun going forward. They've been my pick all season long. But give it to the Fever. They definitely battled. And they should have easily handled it because there was a missed blown call. A couple late. Even the refs were trying to give it to the Sun. You could just tell that they didn't want the Fever to win. There was that 3-point bucket late. They should have been up 3. Should have been up 5-6. Easy late. But they still got the win. And then there were a couple games yesterday that were pretty good.
Yeah, the Sky ended up falling apart. Really, we were on Washington there a little bit yesterday, Rod, with the news, but really the Sky had their chance and ended up, just kind of falling late there yesterday. A great call by you also with Atlanta. They held in there all the way against Seattle. Jewel Lloyd was pretty awesome, but Atlanta got that cover yesterday. You also gave us the Sparks, and I think I gave us the over for a double winner from us yesterday. Yep. Mm-hmm. And yesterday, the Lynx, man, Rod, they do look good. You got to wonder if really, you talk about Connecticut, but the Lynx are right there.
Right there with
now. Mm-hmm.
I think it's you got to go with the Liberty, even though they lost the Sparks. But I think that's what's a big motivation spot. They know they just beat the Sparks handily. It was like 1 of 368, like I said, that one game. And then yesterday, so they lost the Sparks. No big deal for the Liberty there. So Liberty, you got to count in the Sun, Fever, Lynx, 4 teams that are. I'm excited. Give me a good WNBA playoff. Normally, the
Yeah.
last couple of seasons haven't been. It's been Liberty Aces. When's that happening? That's all it's been, right? So
I didn't look too far ahead, Rod. I hope they get the scheduling. We're running up here in the most famous WNBA season of all time. This is what it will be, just because of the nature of everything that's occurred here in the last year plus, right? But now we're right up against football season, so I hope that the people don't ignore. We won't. Rod and I'll continue to talk about the WNBA. We're taking the day off here from the W. Hey, everyone, like this video, subscribe to our channel, Tony's Picks, here on YouTube, the 42,200 subscriber juggernaut. Fernando cannot like the show. Roddy has an injury from liking yesterday's show. Here, use your nose, Fernando.
yeah, we don't mind.
Irish
Whatever it takes,
rolling
whatever it takes to smash that like button, but don't smash it too hard and injure your finger. Smashing that like button, but still.
Roll Tide here in this one, and just saying hello to a few folks. Peter Pan Predicts is here today. We don't know Tony's, but Tony is he's an enigma. I don't even know if he ages, actually, if you look at some of his thumbnails. Oh, hope I don't get in trouble for that, Tony. And Jacob Friday here joining us from Africa. Thank you, Jacob. Nice to see you. Biggie is here today. Kay is checking in with us. And Chad is here today. Hope it all went well with Chad. Let's see there. Looks like he had the dream, the links, the fever. Way to go. And Stop Geo liking the new format here. Lando here as well. Thank you. And hey, Ixnaz is here. How about it? Great to have Ixnaz there and checking out his show all the time. So appreciate it. He's shouting out Rod there as well. Justin's here today. I think we got through just about everybody. I'm going to head over to tonyspicks.com and see who did well over there on the site with our team of handicappers here. So thanks, everybody. Solo is here. Jonathan Malone here. And Fernando with the Brewers. Rod, got one for you here, though. We talking about that comeback there by I guess we didn't. I even mentioned that one, the Cubs and the game against the Pirates last night. Rod, over the last 7 years, teams that had a 7-run lead heading into the 8th inning were 1,192-0 heading into yesterday's game. And
I'm glad the Pirates in that bullpen fell apart and blew it and gave up the 11 runs, because I was with the Cubs in that one. And it wasn't looking good early. It was one of those 10-3. I think, but I was like, you know what? I never gave up hope. I was like 10-3. I was like, that Pirates bullpen has been really worked. So it had a chance, and they just came roaring right on back.
Right? It was like no surprise, really, in a way, even though that is an incredible number.
I wish I would have bet it live when they were down to 10-3.
Yeah, if actually, you know what? You think about that, 1,192-0. They were only the max they got. They were 22-1 basically at that point. I know that doesn't seem like great odds, really, when you're down 7. Probably deserve more, but that was what they said that the highest it got. Hey, Ixnaz, he wasn't alive yet. Maybe he was conceived on. Oh, I don't. Lamont, good morning to Lamont. Luis is here today. Howard, boy, we're getting some traction, Rod. I knew bringing Rod over here was going to get things more. We have a great audience anyways, but we like having Rod. Frankie's here. Terrell is here as well. Let's see. They were, he said 1250 there. Yeah, great. I was wondering, that's what I was trying to think of, Terrell, what were some big dogs really that came back, or I don't know if we ever had that. So, all right, Tariq as well. Joshua Potts, good morning and hello. No, we've had Joshua a couple times, but hello. I'm going to go here now to tonyspicks.com, Rod, and check out who survived yesterday, it feels like, with the handicapper leaderboards. With the crazy action. I think we had some good success. Look at Ben Ruhala, Mr. Underdogs here, 7-4 on the day, a good +4 units for Ben. David Racy, over from the Pick Dogs here. Now with us here on Tony's Picks, 4-1 yesterday. Ruben Marlboro, come to Marlboro country. You would have been 3-0 yesterday. CJ Sturgeon, 2-0. Ron Crawford, author of the Spreadsheet Play of the Day, 67%. Tony's Picks, VIP, 67.5%. Daniel Woloschuk won his only play. Tiffany Mance, Tony T, both in the green. Stephen Duncan, there's solo. In the green as well, Bo Dunn and Jerry Lewis. Last 7 days, Tiffany Mance on top of the handicapper leaderboards, up 8 units. There's our man Rod at 6 1/3 units of profit over the last 7 days. Really, since coming over here, David Racy, 80%. Tony T, 67% last 7 days. OG Cappers, VIP, doing well. Last 30 days, Daniel Woloschuk up over 10 3/4 units of profit. Ron Hahn, he's got almost 9 units of profit. Joseph Schultz up over 8 units of profit. There's Rod's numbers again. We'll get Rod a little bit more diverse in his numbers here as the days go along. Keep racking up those units, Rod, and we'll do it so today. But Rod, we'll promote again at the end of the show. But tell us what's going on today on this card.
For me on this card today, I got a nice college football Thursday triple there, as you can see. Nice 3-pack in college football. We are 1-0 to kickstart week 0 college football. I got 3 plays in today's action. I absolutely love. And then my 10-star play of the day. I dropped it yesterday. I had the Padres. But hey, those days happen. Still 36 and 26 over the last 62 days. So still jump aboard my $19 play and let's crush it in MLB. And I love college football today. I'm loving the weekend. College football has been my most profitable sport over the last 3 seasons, being a handicapper. So definitely jump on board with college football.
I was stunned, Rod, with the Padres yesterday. They actually lost one, and it actually ended up flailing there a little bit at the end. I don't think I'm too worried at this point. I still think things are going well. Hey, I've got a 3-pack over there today as well. Pick it up for 25 here. I've got my 3 best college football games ready to go today, including one of those FCS games. And I have a feeling, Rod, I'm going to be getting a few more of those games. I really like this card and pretty much stayed up all night. Wish there was some, good sport. I watched a little Korean ball on the old streaming, but wish there was tennis on in the middle of the night. That's what I like about when the other part, but US Open's been awesome as well. But all right, let's go on back and say hello to a few more folks, and then we'll get started. We're going to start with college football, baby. Malik Jamal is here today as well. Christopher Sellis. We got some new names here, Rod. You got friends in the chat, Rod?
Of course, I got friends in low places. So great to see everybody here this morning. Shout out to everybody that tunes in. Appreciate each and every one of you, because without you guys here, hey, we're not being able to give you clicks and plays, and we're not getting to do what we love. So shout out to everybody. Appreciate you all in the chat.
Won't be the last time Rod sings, and hey, we might even have a duet together if we find the right song. So,
right? If you find the right song, sometimes we like to break out in song. We can't help it. And also cooking tips. You never know. Might break out a cooking tip as well. So love to cook. And I've got definitely lots of knowledge on cooking, 30 plus years of cooking as well. So definitely might break out a cooking tip.
I was a restaurant manager for 15 years. I know my way around the kitchen, and I always loved, Rod, when the when the cooks would be a little shorthanded and I had to go in and help out.
Give a hand, right? Yeah.
Yeah, those were always my favorite. You think about the extra work, but I always liked to go in there and because I wasn't I was not a cook, but you're the manager, you gotta pick it up.
Pick it up. I've been in places the manager didn't pick it up. So
Rod, you'd love this plate, man. I had a restaurant. I was general manager, 140 TVs, but it was back in the day before the flat screen. Had a big sports bar. It was awesome. 550 seats, different zones for each game. I had a little map for you'd go in on Sunday with a little map, right? And in the right patio, we'd have the Dolphins and the Steelers. In the left patio, it'd be the Patriots and the Bills. Out on the veranda, we would have the I want to say at the time it was probably the Oilers, but whatever games were going on, right? And then I had a little thing where anybody could bring in a radio, right?
Yep.
This was still, right around 2000, but late 1990s into the 2000s. And then I could set the radio to the dial where you could bring your own headset in, and if you put it down to like 86.4, 86.5, it'd be like the Steeler game. If you put it on 87.5, it'd be the Dolphin. You know what I mean? And you could actually listen to the game that was up on the screen. That was the technology then. I mean, now it's, we can all do that, but all right.
The only way I worked on Sundays in the big sports bar back in the day was that if I could be up front. So what we did, we put on the big Sunday buffet, and there was a big buffet for the NFL football. And I worked the omelet station. Omelet to order, whatever you want. I stood there and made omelets out front to order for NFL Sundays every day. I loved it. That way I get to watch the game and cook people omelets. It was great.
Talk about we'd have them lining up, and we wouldn't even let them in until we'd still let them in an hour early, and we'd pack the place. And
pack
of
the
course.
place.
I don't know, Rod. Boom, 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 boom.
Money! Get the cash.
All right. And Christopher, yeah, no doubt. I knew all those satellites. If you're old like me, I could name them all, actually, I think, still. All right. How long has Rod been on the show? I don't know, about 12 minutes. Let's get rolling with the second day together here, but good morning to Cinefig It Out. All right. Hey, let's get rolling here, Rod. We got it's going to be interesting to cover the college football. We really only got a couple of games, but we're going to talk Colorado football. We're going to talk some FBS, FCS, but let's get started with the top games of the day here, certainly with North Carolina taking on Minnesota in this one, Rod. So look, for North Carolina, this was a rematch, certainly, from last season. North Carolina kind of got it done last year, but hey, Minnesota with Fleck here, now back at home. Carolina 2-point favorite. I'll let you touch on it with your notes, and then I'll fill in the blanks maybe here, but we got some things to talk about with these two.
Yeah, and this is a revenge game. If you look last season, North Carolina, they were at home in this one and ran it up, easily handled the Gophers in that one. So for me, you're looking at this as a revenge spot for Minnesota. And in this spot, you look at the Gophers, they've won. They're 18-1 against non-conference opponents at home in Huntington Bank Stadium. So I lead to the Gophers, but I like the under as the play. I think, as we know, in these early games to start college football, the defense always outshines the offense, and I think that's what we get here at 50.5. I like the under between UNC and the Gophers. Both teams love to run the ball, so we'll know there'll be a lot of chewing up of the clock, and I think we cruise under the 50.5 in that one.
Yeah, what's interesting, Rod, from what I've seen, what it looked like last week was that the headsets, they're really taking their time with their quarterbacks, and you thought it was supposed to speed up, and I think it is speeding up, will help, and it'll get rid of all those goofy signs and everything, but I thought the pace of the game, now it's early, let's get through a whole card and see what happens here, but I'm going to, Rod giving out the under here, and let's give out two plays. I'll take the Gophers in this one, Rod. They bring in that quarterback from New Hampshire, player of the year basically last year. So Fleck, I think, knows what he needs to do to keep this situation going here. Minnesota, they're picked very low. They're not picked very high in league play this year. Maybe the Big 10 is going to be tough enough that they'll still be okay. But for North Carolina, obviously, they bring in an experienced quarterback situation as well to replace their departed quarterback. So, talking up the offense a little bit, but I don't disagree with you, Rod. I think it will be a kind of a meticulous type of situation with these two teams in this one, Rod. I'm kind of on board with you. Wink, wink, if you know what I mean. But I'm going to give out Minnesota in that revenge mode here for sure. There's no doubt Carolina, they breached 30 points in 21 of their last 25 games, but this is going to be tough, I think, on the road. This is a pretty good matchup to have. I think this might be the underrated game of the weekend for me in this one. Let's see, we got
great game. This could be a battle. I'm excited for this game. Definitely be tuning in. It's always a tough place to go play in Minnesota. It's one of those stadiums in Huntington Park. There, it's tough.
Tough. Talking about last year's game there. Yeah, Rod talked about it a little bit and how it went down with the result last season. So that's kind of my thing, Rod. I'm kind of interested, I think, in the revenge here. Look, Johnson's going to be fine, I'm sure. The former A&M and LSU quarterback, Brad Johnson's son, everybody knows, right, about that. But I'm a fleck guy here. So, all right, Chris, maybe rooting here for Minnesota. And, what do we call it? The Big 18, right? It's 18, right? Pretty sure it's
the Big 18.
Pretty sure it's 18. So
the Big 18.
The Big 18. And I've been hearing a little bit. I don't want to get too much. We'll go to the next game. Rod's on the under. I'm on Minnesota. But Rod, how are those? I wonder about those teams like UCLA. Can they really hang in a conference like the Big Ten, given that, they're not great at NIL and stuff like that, like USC is. And, if they kind of get something back here out west with Oregon State or something, and maybe these Mountain West teams, I'm not saying UCLA can dip down that low, but man, I don't know how it's going to work out a long run. So, all right. Yeah. Justin says some of his people are on the heels. Look, I think you're going to see, a pretty much balance from the public here in this one. I'm not sure they have a good grip of this, but all right.
I think they're just overreacting to what they've seen when North Carolina beat up Minnesota last year. And this Minnesota team returns a lot of guys from that game last year, and they'll remember. Kids remember. You remember these kids? They remember getting beat up by North Carolina last year, and they'll get up for this game. So I like Minnesota here to keep it tough.
All right, and next up here with this is really the only other main board game here in this one, even though there'll be plenty of football to watch. Don't panic, everybody. There'll be games all night long. You can flip on probably ESPN Plus and choose for about 20 different games. I did look at it and I couldn't count them all. So, but this is a good one here. Or a rematch, Rod, of last year also, and actually kind of the time of the year, and it was on a weekday, I believe. So it kind of looks like the same game a little bit, other than the fact that the teams are a little bit different offensively and at quarterback. Both teams could be showing multiple quarterbacks apparently in this game. We know that Rodriguez kind of does do that already. And I'll just mention it here before I kick it to you, because I want to talk about things like this. But, my penchant for covering my community high school football teams, I've got a guy in this game tonight that I'm going to keep an eye on. He's a transfer to Coastal Carolina coming over from the University of New Mexico. We'll see if he can fit into the plans, but I just want to kind of shout him out, Christian Washington. He did run a kickoff return for New Mexico last year, so that's pretty good. He was a freshman and had a kickoff return, so he'll be in this game. I'm going to be looking for him on the field, but nonetheless, interesting game here with the Chanticleers taking on the Gamecocks. I just wanted to say that.
Right, and the biggest thing is no Grayson McCall for Coastal Carolina, and that's he's been the QB for what it seemed like 10 plus years or something for Coastal Carolina. Seems he's been there a lot. So how they react to with Grayson McCall on board, and there's definitely been a whole bunch of new pieces coming into Coastal Carolina. When you look at the other side of the football, Jacksonville State, they return a lot of guys from last season, and they looked real good last year. And I believe this line opened a little bit shorter than 3, and it's worked its way up to 3. I can also see the 3.5 now popping out in books as well. So only one way to go for me. I'm going to take Jackson State here. I think they cruise to the win over Coastal Carolina. I think it's I got this 24-17. So that gives us an under too. So Jacksonville State and the under in this one for me.
Okay, I'll go with the under here with you, Rod, in this one. I think Jacksonville State, they might be known as a tempo team. Again, I want to see how everyone reacts a little bit to these. I say tempo, but they're not necessarily a dominating passing team. They're tempo that tends to run the ball a little bit more. But again, both teams will be sampling new quarterbacks. Now, I would think for Coastal that Tyler Huff will be the man eventually, the former Furman quarterback. I would think he will win the job. But again, Jacksonville State, they played 2 quarterbacks last year in a kind of a run-heavy offense. So Rich Rod, he's kind of goofball. He even said he was going. I think he was kidding, but he said he might play 4 quarterbacks. So maybe he plays. I could see 3 getting in there with Rich Rod. He's kind of a. I don't want to. He's not washed. He's kind of a goofball. So I'm going to end up on the under here in this one at 54.5. Another under here for me in this one. Let's see. I don't want to skip the chat. I think we ran down their other plays. I don't know if we had any consensus in the last one. Here we come. Humble and gentle likes. I went too far. Here we go. Thomas is on Jacksonville State. Justin is on Jacksonville State. Jeff Roblo, he likes the under in this one. Jerry gave us his plays. He might have a parlay here. He's got Jacksonville State in this one. Jerry's going under in both. Rod and I are too. So, all right. Appreciate it. Chris is giving out some NFL already today. How about that? All right. Thanks, gang. And we'll keep on moving here. And next up, we're going to move into the games now with the college football extra games. So, gang, if we're not going to get too deep into it, but I know Rod has singled out a few games, and so have I on this board today. Again, for me, Rod, a lot of it is just basically power ratings and kind of line movement, kind of watching maybe what the sharps are doing a little bit. So, but I will start us off with the game that everyone is going to be talking about. We can kind of come back to the grouping of games here, but I think everyone knows, if anything, North Carolina, Minnesota, 2 big teams, but they said, Rod, I was watching some of the sportsbook coverage that this game is probably going to be the highest handled game of the day, if not the entire weekend, of course, because of Colorado. I guess we haven't gotten over it or haven't got enough of Colorado. I'll let you break down the game, but I'll make an editorial statement. I'm not happy with Colorado and the way they're doing things right now. It just feels uncomfortable, talking down to reporters like that. No doubt this team has great talent, man. Hunter is just superb, and Sanders is pretty fun, pretty awesome to watch here, and hopefully his development continues. But again, you look at players, some players have left the program. Maybe Sanders asked them to leave or whatever, but it does feel like there's a certain sort of culture going on there that some people are being kicked to the curb, kind of like they were in the first year. If you don't like it, hey, go. Good luck to you. Go find your NIL somewhere else. So I'm not sure if I'm too thrilled about Colorado long term this year. Maybe they'll be improved, but I thought the era was heading down most of the second half of. I think everybody knew it was.
Right, the second half was going to be tough for Colorado last season. And but you got to remember, what did they do to start last season? They got shot out of a cannon to start at 3-0, and people forget that. What people are remembering is this Colorado team that at the end fell off a map and looked awful. Well, you got to remember, this team has had over a month. They've been hucking the ball and playing together. And this is North Dakota State they're going up against, and the site at 9. It's moved from it popped up to 10, and it popped back down to 9. It's now down to 9.5. That tells me there's a whole whack of money. Everybody's got their boatload of money backed up the truck with North Dakota State. And you know what? This Colorado team, they do have lots of talent. And I think they come out and win this one big. Just like they did last year, they get off to a hot start, and then it slows down as the season goes along. I'm going to take Colorado. I'm going to lay the 9. I think they win by 10 plus in this one tonight. Everywhere I look, everybody's dog is North Dakota State, North Dakota State, North Dakota State. The Bisons, the Bisons, the Bisons, the Bisons. Everywhere. I have not yet to see anybody, even in the chat. Everywhere you look at the chat, I think we have a consensus on the Bisons, and I'm going to go the other way. Give me Colorado. They got shot out of a cannon to start last year, and I think they get shot out of a cannon again and win by 10 plus.
I'll leave Thomas's play up there though, Rod. He likes the Buffs in this one, and
Thomas does too. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
No, well, you're right. I mean, so far it's been all North Dakota State, and look, North Dakota State is a power. They're probably going to be they're down. They're never down. North Dakota State's never down, but they are retooling, I guess, maybe a little bit. Might be a safe statement here. They're still probably going to be North Dakota State, I would imagine, in one of the top teams, certainly this season. But, it might not be the same right now for the first game here. Let's see. We've got some comments here coming in the chat. Let me see if I can't get these guys on track here a little bit. Terrell, let's see. Colorado's defense, I think, can be suspect again, but you look at the level of competition here. Maybe I think that's what Rod is pointing out here. Christopher is going to take the Bison as well. And you're right, Rod. I think it's all I'll give out the under. I'm going to do another under at this point here with this one. And let's see. I think we got it handled with the chat. All right. And let's see. One more from Jerry. If you like North Dakota State, you should like the under. Well, I don't want to go. I'm not going against Rod here at this point on the show, but we'll have 2 plays on it with Rod on the Buffs, and I'm on the under in this one. Okay, Rod, there's a ton of games here in college football today, and maybe I can just recite them down a little bit. There's probably about 20 or 25 of them here, and there's also some regular FCS games, and most of the books haven't put a lineup on those, but they are coming here soon. So I'll throw out a few, and then maybe you can stop me along the way. I'm just going to kind of look at the lines and throw out some games. So please have your pencils, scorecards ready on some of these, and maybe I'll recite my score a little bit too to let you know what I'm thinking. Rod was a hard pass on this one, but I do like Rutgers and the over. Rutgers minus 36.5 and over 49.5 against the Howard Bison. Rutgers here, Rod, I've got it about 49-7. That would be a 42-point victory. That would cover the spread and would take it over 56. So it's really just probably one extra score in there for Rutgers. So you can see how I'm nothing special. I'm to be like that, but again, it ain't going to be 49-7 the other way. That's the nature of these games. So you just have to kind of get it right. So Rod, you stop me on some of these. I'll just keep rolling through. Fordham and Bowling Green. Bowling Green, a 15.5-point favorite at home. Total is up to 57.5, was as low as 54. I'm going to grab the under in this one, Rod, if it's going to be up 3 points. I was already looking under.
And I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to take the over in that one. Okay. I think the offenses in that game are definitely better than the defenses on that one. We got a lot of returning guys on both sides of the ball in that one. And I think the offenses can shine in that one. You look, 5 of the Bowling Green's last 6 games have gone over the total. And I think that's what we get here. I think you get both teams chipping in. Fordham's got a solid offense. They'll be able to run the ball. I kind of like Fordham plus the 16.5 too. I think they can hang with Bowling Green and keep it closer than people think. But I think we got a track me in our hands on that one. I like the over as it keeps rising. I wouldn't bet it up on over 60, but I think we do get to 60 in that one. So
Fair enough. At least I can claim the value off of you there, Rod. But you are on the move. Certainly, that's the way the action's been. So you can look at it two ways there. New Hampshire and Central Florida. You got Central Florida here by 41, total 63. Rod, New Hampshire, like I said, New Hampshire, hey, they were very good last year. They had a great offense. So you see that number there. But looking into them a little bit, yeah, they're going to kind of have an offense again. So you see that total there. But I've got this one closer to, I don't have them really for 2 touchdowns in this one, Rod. I think Central Florida, I've got it somewhere in maybe the 49-7, maybe 52-7. I'm gonna lean Central Florida here to get that big number against New Hampshire.
Yeah, you got to lay with USF there with Gus Malzahn. You look at last year when they were double-digit favorites, more than 23 plus points or more. Well, they went 6-0 ATS, and in 2 of those games they were favored by more than 40 plus in those games, just as they are in this situation. And they went 2-0 ATS last season. USF with Gus Malzahn on board. It's not. I don't think they're going to step up and start the game and be like, yeah, that's going to kick the snot out of New Hampshire. But it's just they're that much better than New Hampshire in this game. So the competitiveness and the disparity between the talent is going to be definitely evident in this game. And I think USF not trying to run it up, but I think they just happen to run it up, and it might be by some of them second starters and third stringers who get some work later in the game as well. It'd just be a long day for New Hampshire in that one.
Jackson State at UL Monroe. You got Monroe, a 7.5 point favorite, total 49. I want to take the points with Jackson State in this one against Monroe. And let's see here. You just stopped me, Rod. I'm gonna just kind of keep going.
I gotta agree with you there because what we call ULM, you lose money. So I am not betting on ULM. A little nickname that I know of ULM is you lose money. So give me Jackson State in that one plus the points. I'm gonna even sprinkle a little bit on a money line. I think they got a shot to outright ULM in that one.
All right, I like what I hear there. The Aggies of North Carolina, A&T taking on Wake Forest. I'm going to probably lay it here. I've got this one modeled out at about 45-3. Wake Forest is a 35-point favorite. Total 49.5. The Aggies can be really bad.
Oh, definitely they can be bad. I'm going to stay away from that game. Too many question marks for me on Wake Forest. I'm going to watch and see how they do, but I would take North Carolina A&T plus the 34.5 because it's like one of those things that is Wake Forest really going to come out there and pound them and kick the snot out of them. I would lead to the plus the points in that. I think it's too many, but it's a stay away for me.
Lafayette taking on Buffalo. You got Buffalo down to 3. It was as high as 6.5. Does look to me like Lafayette could be the right side here. I don't know now to just a field goal or so. I guess you can almost get a hook. Maybe I'm going to be more interested here in the over in this one with Lafayette and Buffalo. It's currently at 47. So I'm going to make over my play in Lafayette and Buffalo.
I'm going to take the points with Lafayette here in this one. I think they got a good shot with to beat Buffalo. Buffalo's not the same team we've seen over the last few years. They've definitely got a bunch of new pieces on board with Buffalo. So be very worried about Buffalo. Buffalo at home haven't been great. You look at Buffalo at home over their last 6. They have failed to cover in actually 7 of the last 8 games at UB Stadium. So you're getting more than a field goal here at the plus 3.5. I wouldn't want to lay plus 3 because that seems like where it's going to be a 3-point game. But Lafayette Leopards plus 3.5 for me.
And thanks for hanging with us with this little. This is not the format, Rod, that and I are going to be subscribing to once we get to the main board. But I think this is a unique situation. We're not going to have any situation, and probably on Saturdays, Rod, we probably aren't going to get too deep into. This is a good time to look at some of these FCS teams. I love betting FCS, and man, that last 30 minutes on Saturday when I'm done with all the FBS and those line moves start rolling in. Hey, this is one. Western Carolina at NC State. Seen some popular opinion here on this one today. What do you have here with the Wolfpack taking on the Catamounts?
And you look at the Wolfpack here, they've definitely got all the talents and pieces, and going to be a solid team this year is North Carolina State. But are they going to throw it all out there and whoop up on Western Carolina and the Catamounts on that one? I don't think so. I really don't. North Carolina State, I think they, in that first half, I would take them in the first half. I think they cruise to the first half victory, and then they take the foot off the gas. They got a big game coming up in week 2 versus Tennessee the following week. So after this one, they're heading to Tennessee to play. And so NC State wins the game, but give me Western Carolina plus the 32.5 points. As I don't think NC State's going to throw it all out there and put all that tape work for Tennessee to see. So I think they take their foot off the gas the second half. I like the under in the second half as a play as well. I think we see a lot more scoring in this first half, and then they just slow down in the second half.
I'm on the under here, Rod, for sure in this one. There had been a little bit of move. It was 34.5 opener at DraftKings, now 32 at Bet Online. So the move is on Western Carolina. That's what Rod is suggesting, full game. I'll take the under here at 61 between Western Carolina and NC State. Central Connecticut taking on Central Michigan here. And I've got, make sure I've got the under, pretty sure on this one, Rod. Total here right now, it is Central Michigan 32.5. And the total 52.5, and my play will be on the under for sure in this one. Central Michigan hosting Central Connecticut. All right. Also here, Rod, Arkansas Pine Bluff taking on the Hogs here. Arkansas 48-point favorite currently, and the total 56. So I think I could almost figure that out in my head. That is 52-6.
Yeah, but I don't trust the Hogs to be scoring. I don't trust the Hogs. I don't trust the Hogs to be scoring 56 points. I just don't see it in the first game out. We know what they do. It's the Hogs. They love to run the ball. So I would lean to the under in that one. I think we got a lower scoring. I know it's 57.5. And how much are you going to Arkansas Pine Bluff or the Grandpa Simpsons? Grandpa Simpson, as we call them, with their little logo. It kind of looks like Grandpa Simpson a little bit. So Arkansas is going to win this game. But are they going to win it by that many points? Nah, I would take the Abe Simpsons. Give me Arkansas Pine Bluff plus the points.
I'm with you, Rod. Look, I'm going to call out a score. I'm going to make a score projection, and that's going to give me my handicap. I like this one, maybe 42-7, 45-7, something right in there. That's going to be Pine Bluff and under. Again, you're never talking about these teams letting up or anything like that, but Pine Bluff, kind of a weak sister situation. Not like some of the games where people think about. Now, Arkansas last year, they were in a similar situation and they rolled. Again, here we are on the extra games. I should be a little bit better. You might have it, Rod, but they rolled last year in their weak sister matchup. It wasn't Pine Bluff, though. That's why I'm kind of thinking that maybe because it is Pine Bluff here, we might get a little bit of let up. Are you checking it out? I'll move on if you're not. But thanks for all that. No problem. I'll look at some of the plays here too. Pine Bluff to cover and over for Jerry. Darren says Pine Bluff and under. He's with me right there, says Darren. Thank you, Darren.
And Arkansas is not a team to blow teams out.
Yeah, I should have the logs up and ready on my computer.
34-point win. 24 point or
Okay.
they
Well, it's their
lost by
first or
30.
second
So,
game, and they were playing a game where they were favored by a similar margin, and or maybe it might have not been 48, but it was their pre-season, their non-conference game against a weaker team, and they ended up blowing them out. But all right, is that what Jerry might have it? Okay, that might maybe that is it. But that, you know what? You look at that score right there. That's Pine Bluff and under again, isn't it? Yep. All
yeah,
right.
that's right. Yeah, they came out in the first half. And we're up big, and then they scored like nothing in the second half.
Hey, Rod, you are one of the most popular handicappers on YouTube over at Pick Dogs. You are a great handicapper. I've been following you a long time. You know that. You gave out the over in the Fordham and Bowling Green game. Do you have your screen in front of you? I want you to look at that total right now, Rod. I'm seeing 60 right
Oh,
now at Bet
see?
Online. Juice to the over. Rod is moving markets. I'll get the best of that price. I didn't bet it yet. I'm stuck here with you on the show. I'm
on the
going to get
shows.
a whole touchdown of value, but Rod gave it out. Hopefully you guys are on it. I'll tell you right now, if you hurry, you might be able to get over to DraftKings and get a 58.5. I don't have it up on my screen, but I don't have the book open, but my line service is still showing 58 now. I'm showing 60 pretty much everywhere else. Rod moving markets. All right, let's keep it rolling, brother. How about Duquesne and Toledo today? The Rockets, a 4-touchdown favorite over the Dukes here. They're 27.5 and 51.5 in this one. I'm passing. You got anything? I'm passing. Believe it or not.
Pass it on that one. It's tough. I like the under in that one. I think you got a lower scoring one at 51.5. Toledo, we know, loves to run the ball, and Duquesne's not bad. I think they might be. You know what? I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna take Duquesne plus the 27.5. I think Toledo wins, and they win by like 3 touchdowns. Duquesne gets the cover.
I'm marking these down because I want to be playing that game. I'll just take Rod's advice and go with it here. All right. How about Murray State taking on Missouri? And Missouri is a 48. Oh, here's another one just like it, just like the Pine Bluff game. It's almost an exact same line here, Rod. Down to 45.5, actually. That's a close to a 3-point move on Murray State here, and the total 57.5. Rod, I'm probably more apt to take the points there with that move, but I don't think I'm going to do anything.
I would take the points. Murray State plus the 48.5 here. Missouri definitely going to be a solid team this year. They returned 14 starters. They returned their QB. They returned their head coach, offensive coordinator. They'll have a new defensive coordinator for Mizzou. Mizzou last year defensively wasn't the greatest, but they definitely will bring it offensively. But here, that's just 48.5. That means you got to score, what is it, 7, 14, 21. What are we looking at? 7 touchdowns? 7 touchdowns you got to win by. That's just too bad. Give me Murray State and the Racers plus the 48.5.
Yeah, and I mentioned 45.5, but that was at one particular book. There's still 47.5s out there at DraftKings. So I think Rod, I'm not going to say, hey, Rod, you still like it at 47.5 instead of 40. I think Rod likes Murray State in that one. All right, next up. I think this is fine. We were going to kind of bulk them together, but I'm liking the vibe here, Rod. Alcorn taking on UAB, a 25.5 point favorite for the Blazers. Hey, Rod, I don't know if anybody's interested in this, but on my timeline, on my X timeline, if anybody, if you really want to get down, I don't know if it's anything about the handicap actually, but I actually interviewed 2 weeks ago UAB senior offensive analyst Danny Mitchell. UAB was a big surprise last year. He's a buddy of mine. He's an old coach now under Trent Dilfer. He's kind of his main computer analyst guy. And, the thing about UAB, they weren't very good, but they had a wild offense. And that's what this guy Mitchell, my guy Mitchell, specializes in. So I'd probably like Alcorn actually to jinx what I'm saying. And I hope Danny doesn't see this, but just kind of wanted to mention that. But I'm going to take Alcorn. The line has definitely gone down. It was as high as 27, but now it's 25.5.
Yeah, and I'm going to take UAB. The Blazers.
All right, you better.
The head-to-head matchup between these two teams has been all the home team dominance. The home team has covered the spread in each of UAB's last 4 games. So UAB at home here, I think they get off to a good start, and I think they win by 4 touchdowns. Is what I got. So now the numbers come down. I've seen the team move in the other way. I'm going to now bet UAB.
All right. Well, I'll be in trouble, but I'll tell Danny. He sent me some UAB stuff, so I'll bust it out. Maybe wear it on the show if they lose or something, or if they win. I mean, and pay the price there a little bit. All right. Well, and this guy isn't all. One thing he did explain to me, Rod, and I don't know what your feeling is on it, but he was a coach in the European Football League. He was with the Vienna Vikings, and they had gone to that a new NFL style kickoff a year in advance. They were like a test a little bit, right? And when he came back and participated in a coaching camp with Tampa Bay, his team over in that European Football League, they were the champions of the league. They were the best at the a new kickoff. And he said that coaches were coming to him, the Tampa Bay coaches were coming to him and asking him about the new, strategies and things like that for the new kickoff. And he said to me, Rod, that you will like the new kickoff and that it will, be proved to be popular. And I think maybe the jury's still out for a lot of people, but the bottom line, Rod, is more kickoff returns. They said that, and I know I'm getting off here in the NFL a little bit, but they said that the new kickoff, Rod, is going to result in counting the kickoff as a play instead of a touchback. 1,100 more plays this season in the NFL because of that. That's how many touchbacks.
Because of that, because it's how many. It's almost a foregone conclusion that you see. Oh, here comes a kickoff. Oh, touchback, and that's the end of the game, and we're looking for an onside kick. But other than that, kickers have got legs that are strong, and they go right through the end zone now.
And I didn't realize this, but and I don't know if you did it. In the Super Bowl last year, they were all touchbacks.
All touchbacks, yeah. All of them, every single one of them.
You don't want that. The Super Bowl, you want to have someone go into the refrigerator 12 times a game or something like that? No. So
we want to be tuned in and watch it.
And they're going to have to tweak it. I mentioned on the show over last weekend, probably going to have to tweak it, Rod, and penalize more and maybe put that team out to the 35 on a regular touchback because there just is too much of not quite enough of a difference, but they'll work it out. After one season, they'll figure it out, I think. Okay, we'll keep it going here with a few more. I'm having fun. Northwestern State and Tulsa. You got Tulsa here, 32.5, and the total here in this one is what? I love these spreads, Rod. 54.5, 32.5, 54.5. Probably thinking over here is my over here. Tulsa and over for me, Rod. Actually, I'm going to have this one. I've got to think Tulsa here is going to be able to win this one by more than 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, I would lead to Tulsa too. If you look, Tulsa kicked off their season last year with a big blowout win of somebody, but who did they blow out last year? Really?
You're gonna make me pull up the logs.
I'm looking and I'm going. Northwestern State wasn't so good. I would have to lay it 32.5 with Tulsa in that one, but that's a lean. Definitely not rushing to the window to make any bets on that one.
Okay, well, leave one to me. You've been going side and total on some games. Hey, another one here. I already saw the chat kind of lighten up, and I told you before the show we wouldn't even talk about it, but I'm having too much fun. Kansas is taking on Lindenwood. Boy, good thing this isn't or maybe it is a basketball game by the time it's over. Rod, with Kansas a 45-point favorite and 58.5. It does sound like because Lindenwood getting on the board now in college basketball. So you look at anything there?
I would look at the under. I think 59.5 is just too much. We know Kansas loves to run the football, and I think they do the same thing. Run, get up to a lead, and then just take their foot off the gas and cruise.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm going with a Rod there in that one. Rod says go under. They'll just get in, get out. Southeast Louisiana, Tulane, a 4-touchdown favorite here. 27.5, I guess, right now. And They're hosting Southeast Louisiana in this one, Rod. I couldn't come up with anything here. Total 53.5.
Yeah, no, I passed on that one too.
Okay, so here's an interesting one. The Thunderbirds of Southern Utah taking on the Utes in this one, and I'm gonna go with Utah, Rod. I've got them by at least 41 points here in this game, and I'm probably gonna be staying away from the total though. Maybe the lean is over, but I'm just taking Utah and lay these big points against Southern Utah. I think it's 38.5.
Right, that's a big number for the Utes to be covering. So I don't think they will. I'm going to go the other way. That's going to be a battle there. I think Southern Utah. Well, I think they're going to come to play. I think this is like their Super Bowl for them.
It is
getting to play Utah. Right, this is a big game for them. So I think they get up for it and they cover the 39.5. I don't want to be laying that kind of number with Utah.
Eastern Illinois takes on Illinois. You got Illinois 28-point favorite here, and the total at 45. I have nothing there, brother.
I will take the points with Eastern Illinois again. Illinois versus Illinois. Well, means they're not too far apart from each other. So I mean, I guess there's no love lost between these two teams. And also, you look, Illinois has failed to cover the spread in each of its last 9 games at Memorial Stadium in Champaign, Illinois. So give me the dog plus the points. Again, it's going to be like the Super Bowl for them. So give me the points.
All right. And then finally on the extra games here, there is a group of FCS. I don't know if Rod looked at those, but Sacramento State and San Jose State. This one's kind of been talked about a little bit. I don't know, Rod. I'm kind of thinking Sacramento State might be live to get this win, but probably just going to lay off. I do want to see it first, I think, with these two. But this total here now at 60.5 under is going to be my play.
Yeah, I like the under 60.5. That's just way too many points in the San Jose State game. We know they're going to run the ball and chew clock. So I don't see a shootout, air raid type of game in that one. So, yeah, give me the under 60.5. I'm with you there.
All right. I think that'll do it. Unless you want to touch anything on this FCS, I think I actually do have one play, or maybe two, actually. This one we can kind of just group together if you got any plays. I like Wofford. This one's had a crazy line move, though. Let me just look at this. 6.5. Gardner Webb by 6.5. I'll still take it. I kind of hinted at it. So I'm going to take Wofford here plus 6.5 against Gardner Webb. And I like Presbyterian against Mercer. Boy, that line's gone down from 33.5 to 27.5. It'll just be a free play for me. Anything, Rod? Youngstown State and Villanova, VMI, Bill and Mary, Bryant and Delaware, Monmouth and Eastern Washington. Might be the only time we mention these guys all year on the show, to be honest.
No, we'll mention them when college basketball rolls around. Until then, I will stay far away from all those teams that you just mentioned. Until it's basketball season, I will not be saying. I'll be staying far away from those teams.
I just want to mention them, though. Certainly the matchups.
Correct.
You guys,
they're. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you can find money in any spot to get it. They're just not for me. Those are college basketball teams to me.
A few more plays in there from the chat. I think we're done with college basketball. Thanks, everybody. And again, we'll be more regimented, I think I can say, Rod, as far as how we'll go down the card when we get to Saturday's action and stuff like that, because of the nature of it. I say Saturday, don't forget we got some games tomorrow we'll be talking about too. So okay, appreciate everybody there. And Jacob's worried, Rod. Jacob's worried that we were going to end the show right now. No, we're not done. We're not done.
No, we're not done. We're just getting into MLB, Jacob. Don't worry. Don't you worry. We're just gonna head into MLB.
I'm gonna grab my sheet. Let's get right into it. We don't need to delay. Just want to show the few plays here from the group. Thomas on Sacramento State. I don't think we ended up with any consensus in there. It might have been tough for Thomas to keep track. I kind of let them down there with our organization. But I think that's how this card is. All right, Rod. Let's go to Major League Baseball, and we got day games, so it's going to be awesome. Because I don't know, I'll probably sitting there watching tennis. I'll watch baseball, and then I'll continue to look in. One thing I love about handicapping, these FBS and FCS is I love the big, D1 games, but everything's so laid out. You could go to sites and my own rating system and my computer print out and everything, but everything's laid in front of you. When you go to research those other, you're looking at beat writers, you're looking at stories, right? There's numbers, but it does feel like you're doing more of the research that gets you kind of into really feeling confident about the play. All right.
On those games, I need some numbers. I need them to play a few games first. I need to be able to see how those teams do. Those teams are so much, and unless you got the hands-on with your buddies, the beat writer for the Youngstown State Penguins or something, then man, you're digging to try to get information on some of those games.
And I will say this, and you're going to see, I think today, because the lines are kind of out early, but again, with FCS, I'll just put this advice out there, everyone. As someone, I've bet FCS. Maybe you've seen Rod. I've been on a few other shows on Saturday mornings talking FCS football. I like to watch the markets. If anybody does follow the screens, you can even follow the free screens. When a move happens, if you're a gambler or a player, usually, Rod, I'll just play the move blindly. I know that sounds crazy, but the move is always going to, as long as you could beat the move. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about when it's on the move, even if it's just a half a point or a point, because it'll tend to go up even a little bit more, and you'll end up getting the buyback if you like the other team for a middle, and you can come back and put more on the other side type of thing as well. So, hey, let me pass along one college football steam that just came in here, and then we'll move to the baseball. But I just want to mention it because it just came across the line service. And, I talked up Rod, and, it's the Lindenwood, Kansas game, Rod. Now you're going to get the better price. It's going over right now. The move's on the over. Rod just gave us the under, but 60.5 right now. Hasn't been a total big move yet, but the service just came in with an over, so you'll get a better price there. Lindenwood in Kansas. All right, let's get rolling here with our Major League Baseball card with the Angels on the road here against the Tigers. Coconowitz, I just like saying this, going up against Keter Montero here, Rod, the Tigers. Hey, this has been a great hats off, man. Hats off to the Tigers right now in this little mini run that they're on. I don't know how it's going to end up, but they've really done a nice job here. Angels struggling, losing 15 of their last 18. Coconowitz has been all right last 3 starts. Just, the Angels aren't going to win those games. Montero, though, is 4-0 in his last 4 starts. He's been part of this good run.
Yeah, and you look at this one.
16, yeah.
Yeah, Keter Montero has definitely been pitching well. Detroit's won his last 4 starts. And on the other side of things, with Jack going, you know what? Jack hasn't pitched. His numbers make it seem like he's worse than what he really is. But you look over his last 3 starts. If you look, he's recorded 18 outs, 23 outs. So not bad. He hasn't given up more than 3 runs in those 3 starts. Only got 1 win. Came against Washington. They lost 3-1 to Atlanta. They lost 5-4 to the Blue Jays. So what I'm going to take, I got a little prop bet on this one. I'm going to take Jack. I don't want to butcher his name. It's the starter for the Angels. His over 15.5 outs. As I said, he's recorded that at his last 3 starts. So I'm going to take the over 15.5 at a plus 105. I think he can have another good start here. Do I think the Angels get the win? No, I think the Tigers get the win, but I think Jack has a good start, which will lead me to an under early in this game. I think we got a little bit of a pitcher's duel going on because I think Keter Montero can definitely duel, and I think Jack has a good start here. And most some outs, as we've seen, he can definitely get through some innings and mow down some Tigers. And we know the Tigers' bats at times are slow. Right now, they're hitting about 270 versus right-handed pitching, so they're definitely a little hot. Angels, not as hot. So I believe the Detroit Tigers have also won 9 straight versus an AL opponent as well.
Yeah, Rod, I think for me, I'm going to piggyback a little bit on what you're saying, and I'm going to take the under as my play, actually. I think, I think that the price, I think the Angels are probably the side to take if you're just looking market-wise. I think that still a little too high, as great as the Tigers have been, but who wants anything to do with the Angels right now? Like I said, Detroit 13-3 last 16, and the Angels are basically the opposite. So, all right, lots of support here for the Tigers. We also see other support for the under, and Thomas says it is a consensus play on the under. How about that? I'm on the consensus here, Rod. And
Nice.
can you kind of R2 talking about I'll say it. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. I watched a couple of games, but I'm saying Kokonowitz, and I think I could be wrong, but all right. Here's some more Tigers with Darren, Tigers with Luis, and I think this is a Tiger. This is a Tiger.
Yeah, that's Tiger.
And thank you. Okay, I'm gonna keep going here, but I just want to. Steam's coming in. I just want to keep everybody posted if they're playing college football on these games, right? So this is kind of what I'm talking about. I'm gonna keep you updated here and sprinkle in, because I know we're all fired up about football. These baseball games are great, but this is part of my job here on the morning steam. Hey, Rod, I gave out the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. They're getting steamed up here right now. In that game, I said lay 32, but they're up to looks like 34.5 at South Point. So roll with us, roll with Ron here.
Rolling, we're moving lines.
Hey, DraftKings still might be hanging 32.5, and again, that total's only moving. And I don't know if there are key numbers. People think of 3 and 7. I'll tell you this: when these games move from a situation of 32 to 34.5. It doesn't feel like a key number, but again, those spreads that's where the game is usually almost always going to land. These games are more predictable than some toss-up, some 3-point spread game that could go either way. These games are more likely to finish right in that range. So
in that range, yeah.
You got to be careful. Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Rod, they're steaming Missouri as well, so we're going to get more points with Murray State. Missouri is kind of rolling here. They're moving big time on this number as well, up north, back almost to 48 here at this point.
I don't see Missouri just rolling like that. So I'm not in a hurry. Then I'll just keep waiting. I'll wait to
wait on that.
Right?
A few more fans to listen. It's 48 here at a couple of stops here in Vegas right now in that one. So also one more was Eastern Illinois and Illinois game. They're steaming the total over. And we talked about it at 46, if I'm not mistaken. And now we are up to 48 there. So we'll keep you posted. We're going to keep on rolling here with Major League. Oh, I got one. New Hampshire got steamed. I think that was one where I was rolling on Central Florida, but New Hampshire now they took it at 39.5, and all of a sudden this one's heading down here towards 37 at Bet Online. Okay, this is fun. Here's one more. Let me keep passing these along. I'm loving this football action. Utah and Southern Utah. Rod and I disagreed on the side, but the total getting steamed over right now. We talked about it at 54.5, but right now I'm showing this one with Southern Utah and Utah up to 56, just to the over right now at Bet Online. The other books are kind of dragging there, so you can get on these. We're going to keep passing them along. Let me keep going with Rod here. Giants and Brewers with Birdsong taking on Savali here in this one. Brewers going to be just a slight favorite here in this one. Savali has won. Brewers have won last 3 games with Savali on the mound. He has a 2-0 record at a 2.76 ERA in those 3 games. The Brewers have gone over in 7 of their last 8 with Savali on the mound. They've also gone over in 4 of their last 5. Birdsong here, Rod, however long he goes, 7.8 ERA and an 0-3 record in his last 4 starts.
Correct, and we've seen we've seen some good stuff out of this young Hayden Birdsong at times this year. We've got a bright future going forward. You look, I think he's getting to where he's getting to that pitching number where he hasn't pitched this many number in his career, right? So it's when you get a young rookie like this, it's you get to those numbers, and it's like he hasn't pitched this deep into seasons. And you look at this one, and it's like the Brewers and Savali's been rolling along, but this is a day game. Savali stinks in day games. Absolutely stinks. He's yet to get to record a win all season long during the day. He's 0-6 with a 4.66 ERA. I'm gonna hold my nose and take the Giants. I just said Savali. I see Savali on the mound, and I'm like, I'm running the other way. Sure, he has pitched a little better over recently, but give me the Giants. Even with Hayden Birdsong, just as I said, he's had a little bit of rough outing his last few starts, but I think he has one of these solid outings here, and the Giants get the win. I don't trust Savali. Day games 0-6. No, not doing it. Give me the Giants.
On the over, Justin's got.
I like that
prop to go. You like that over?
I like Justin's. I like that Birdsong over 5.5 strikeouts. I like that.
Okay. Fernando, he'll take his Brewers. We'll cut him some slack. He's our Brewers correspondent. Juice is on the over here, and Tariq likes the over here. You know, the over is going to be very popular today. I have a feel, or I'm sorry, the under is going to be very popular here today, I do believe. But so far over's there. But here's Darren liking the under. I'm going over. I'm not fading my man Darren really, but that's my play.
Giants are also 7-0 on the road following a loss. So they lost yesterday. Bounce back here for the Giants. Give me the Giants.
Art Tom's on the Giants, Luis on the Giants, and I was just hoping I'm with you a little bit, Rod. I just was thinking I'd get a better price. I'm kind of still in fade mode. Like I said, the Giants have lost nearly 2/3 of their games over the last season and 3 quarters now, or however far we're along. But still, they're definitely okay here. All right. Think
so
that's
you know
it.
something. Why don't Milwaukee also only minus $1.35?
Yeah, no, that's maybe the price is just what kind of kept me off. So, all right, next up, we're still in these day games here, and well, the White Sox here against the Rangers will beat around. This we probably should skip this one. You got anything?
It's good old Nick Nastrini still looking for his first win, 0-5 with an 8 ERA. Ooh, I like the over in this one because on the other side of the mound you got Eovaldi going, and he hasn't been good over his last few starts either. He's given up 3, 3, 3, 5, 3, so he's given up a minimum of 3 runs over his last 5 starts, and I think he can do that again. Give up a few. He's also been known to give up the long ball, 3 home runs, 1, 2 home runs, 1 home run. Yeah, I like the over in that one. I think the White Sox are a live dog there too, but give me the over in that one.
Okay, and I am gonna take the Rangers on the run line. I'll be that guy to be square today. Hey, I'm not always this. I actually have been of late, kind of going against them here, so I'll lay the juice. I'll lay that minus here a little bit today in this one. We got some plays though. Juice does think the White Sox. That looks like a run line play. Jerry says he'll lay 3. Art Thompson will be with me here in this one. So will Thomas. Here's Simeon. Total bases over. Solo will take him with you, Rod, a little bit here, saying about grabbing that 220. Look, Rangers got steam. There's no value here. It doesn't feel like on the Rangers, Rod. At this price, at this point, up here now to 240 or so, and it was about 225. So definitely got hit with the steam here in this one. I will. You mentioned some good numbers there, certainly, but Nastrini, I did take a little nap in there last night. When I went to bed, it was Kai Bush, I thought, and when I woke up, it was Nastrini. So I don't know what their plans are for the whole game, but maybe I just wrote it down wrong. He's got a 7.66 ERA in those starts, but we haven't seen him in a while. Okay.
It's his first start since June 8th. So
thank you.
He's a call up for sure here in the spot. Last time he pitched well. He went 4.1 innings, only gave up a couple hits. His issue, this Nick Nastrini, is his command. He's not very good at walking, guys. And he can get himself in trouble that way. Last time out, 5 walks, 3 walks, 4 walks, 6 walks. He averages 4.2 walks per his starts. So when you average 4 walks, that just gets yourself in trouble when you're giving free passes and putting guys on base. That's been his issue since, but that's June. That's a long time. I think he's had time to work on that command, and the White Sox want to see what he's got since he's been working on it. So he's got the heat if he can get his control down. I call it his Nick Wild Thing Nastrini.
And Rod gave out the over. White Sox over in 12 of their last 18 home games. Eovaldi gone over in 5 of his last 7 starts. He's got a 6.4 ERA in his last 4 starts. Okay, Rod, what happened last night to my Padres? Yeah, we rolled with them a little bit here on the show. No problem here, and they're favored again here. That's actually a pretty close line here today, but Michael King's been such a pleasant surprise here this season, and facing up here against Sonny Gray. Rod, Padres, yeah, they've always had some troubles in St. Louis, so maybe they're going to lose one. But King, 3.31 ERA in his last 6 starts. Padres 7-2 with King in his last 9 starts. Padres still have won 26 of their last 35 games. Cardinals under in 10 of their last 15. Sonny Gray's gone under in 4 straight, despite the fact that he's 0-3 with a 7.31 ERA in his last 3 starts. That pretty much says to me the Cardinals just been getting shut out.
Right? It's funny. The last 4 starts for Sonny Gray have all been under the total, which is funny because it's like he gives up 5 earned runs, 6 earned runs. It was 6-0 Minnesota in that game. He held the Dodgers to 2 runs the time before that. Cincinnati got the win 6-1 and 4-3, so just under the totals in those ones. But Sonny Gray hasn't been good. He's got 1 win in his last 7 starts for the Cards. Well, Michael King's been rolling along. Cards haven't seen him at all. So this is just one of those spots that the Padres bounce back. Only one way to go is to take the Padres, even at this money line price. Because why is it a coin flip? Especially the way Sonny Gray's been pitching. But Sonny Gray, like he's serviceable. So I think that's why it's a coin flip. Because if you look, these teams are 3-3 head to head this season. But I think the Padres bounce back here. Give me the Padres.
Yeah, I say what happened, but really, it was really almost a matter of the Padres almost pulled off another one with that home run to tie the game, but they end up losing it. So, look, this one's going to get a lot of attention, it feels like, on the under, and I'm probably just going to roll with the under here in this one. I don't feel like I'm getting the best of the price anymore because it was 8 juice to the under, but now I'm pretty sure I'm just going to peek at it, but I'm pretty sure it's 7.5. Everywhere. Yeah, pretty much 7.5 flat everywhere. I'll take the under. Can't get premium on it now. I kind of was thinking premium at 8 for sure in this one. All right. Hey, let me throw out some more football. Always good to interrupt our baseball coverage, but I want to talk about some of these moves here that are coming in right now, Rod, over the last couple minutes we've been talking baseball, but you guys could check it out. You could verify my work. Rutgers, I gave them out, at 36? They're up to 37.5 right now at Bet Online. Rutgers got steamed in that game that we mentioned against Howard. Also, I talked about UAB a little bit, Rod. You took them. I said go with Alcorn. Where's the move? UAB's getting right now, brother. Yeah, probably heard me talking about my man Danny. It's up to 29.5 here. You can find a 3-point discrepancy right now. If there are any ARBs out there you guys are interested in, we don't do that here. We're giving picks, but up to 29.5 at some books, 28.5 right now at Bet Online. And I think that's it. Let's keep on rolling with baseball. Oh, no, let me do one more, Rod. I love these. Right now, Central Connecticut and Central Michigan. I said go under. The total is being hit to the over right now. 54 is turning into 55 here at this point here in Las Vegas. So that opened as low as 51.5, and now it's up to 55, Central Connecticut and Central Michigan. Let's see. I got some comments on the Padre game from you guys. I don't want to leave out the chat. As I said, Rod, before you got here, the most important people in our show. There's Luis on the Padres, Juice with the Padres. Oh boy, look at this. Feels like it's going to be a Padres consensus here. And yeah. All right, we'll let Thomas handle that, but I'll go ahead and take the total under. I won't jinx it, man. We want to get these wins, Rod. Hopefully, Rod, we'll be together in October, and you'll be here. Being from you're in Alberta, right? You've been through a few championships back in the day with your Oilers, right? So, Rod, I'm 55 years old and I'm from San Diego. I've never celebrated a world championship in anything significant. So, before I hit the old,
you got a chance. Definitely got a chance this year with Padres.
I'll cry. We might do a live show during game whatever, the World Series, and I'll cry on camera. All right, Duquesne's getting hit right now of steam in college football, that game against Toledo. Rod gave them out.
I gotta take Duquesne. They're not as bad as what people think. Solid little team there in Duquesne.
Rod gave him out. He said, take 27 points. Well, you better get them now if you want to ride with Rod, because they're down to 24.5 right now at Bet Online. But again, we're giving you these moves. You guys go check out DraftKings. Check out some of these other books. You still might get 27 that Rod was kind of touting there. So check it out. No matter what, it's going to be on the move. So check out these plays from Rod. Thomas says, there it is, our Padres move there, consensus. I'm going to keep going with these, Rod, if you don't mind. Southeast Louisiana and Tulane. This total is getting hit right now to the under here. Rod, I'm showing they're taking under 54.5 at this point. We didn't take anything in that game, so I'll just pass that one along. All right, here we go now. Probably could talk more college football. Here's the Marlins and the Rockies. Anything, Rod?
Yeah, you look at this one. Bradley Blaylock getting the start for the Rockies. He's had one start here in Coors Field, and he got the win. Well, he got the no decision, but the Rockies got the win, beating the Padres 3-2 in that game. He gave up 6 hits, few walks, 1 earned run. That's been the issue for him is the walks. His last couple starts, he's given up 7 walks over those 2 starts. But you know what? They've equated to wins. Beating the Padres and the Yankees. So I like this Bradley Blaylock guy here. He's got a bright future ahead. He came from the Brewers and now playing in Colorado. And on the other side, Beloso, big Beloso getting the start there. And you know what? He hasn't been bad as well. You look, he's got 3 wins in his last 4 starts where he pitches well, and then he has these blip games. And his last one was a blip game where he only went 4.2 innings, gave up 7 hits. And again, 5 walks and 5 earned runs, 3 home runs last time out. So you look, that Valentin Beloso is looking for a bounce back, and I think he gets it here. I like the under, 11? Is it 11.5? Even at 11, I still like the under. Oh, it's 11.5, even better. Take the under Marlins, Colorado. I think Blaylock and Beloso can have a solid outing, and we just squeeze out of that number of 11.5.
Yeah, let me check it out. Yep, definitely 11.5. Juice to the under there, 11.5 under 20 as I have on the screen. It's still about there, no doubt. And, might be the worst game on the board, Rod, but I'm going to go exactly with what you said. I'm going with the Rockies. I'm going with the under. Look, Marlins here under in 9 of their last 12 on the road. Rockies under in 16 of their last 24 at home. So I'm rolling with you on that one. I feel bad, Rod, to make you handicap that one here. Told you we'd skip I promised you we'd skip the dogs of the ugly games, but all right. we could use a little practice here on our new format. All right, Mets here with Peterson taking on the Diamondbacks and Nelson, and I can't stop thinking about the game last night with Corbin Carroll and if the Mets didn't die the night before or the night before or the night before, it just felt like the wind was out of their sails. They look like they might be getting some support here, but gosh, who is giving them the the moves on Arizona here? They're up to $1.25, so I stand corrected.
Yeah, and I'm going to go the other way. You look, Pedersen definitely been pitching well. The team's won his last 4 starts, where he hasn't. You can go all the way back. You look at his numbers. I don't think he's given up more than 2 runs in all but 1. So where he gave up 4 runs in his last 10 starts has been Pedersen. And you look at the other side of the bump. Guess who's getting the start? It's Ryan Nelson. And guess what? He doesn't fare so well against the Mets. He gets roughed up. A lot of time that he faced the Mets, he went 4.1 innings, gave up 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 home runs. The time before that, he went 3 innings, gave up 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 more home runs. The Mets love seeing this guy. I think it's going to be a long day for Arizona. Everybody's jumping on Arizona after seeing that big comeback yesterday, thinking that's going to carry them into this one. No chance. Give me the Mets.
All right, Rod, on the Mets here, I'm going to grab the under here in this one as my play with Peterson. You mentioned how good he's looked here of late over his last 4 starts, 3 wins. You mentioned it. Nelson been solid here as well. ERA under 2 in his last 5 starts. Arizona 10-2 last 12 Nelson starts, but Mets are 12-3 last 15 Peterson starts. So pretty good matchup here. And I'll end up taking the under here in this one. Rod, I did got you here. I kind of skipped the chat on that Rockies game. Sorry, gang. You're important to us. Just roll through them here real quick. I just want to make sure everyone's on record in that Colorado game before we get here to this one. I think we're ready now with the Mets. Justin on the over here. And Diamondbacks money line for 9 Legacy here today. Thomas is on the Mets with you. Irish King, he told us, Rod, yesterday. He told us all about the Cards. Jerry says Mets. Arizona's not hitting left-handed pitching and leans to the under with me here as well. All right. Hey, I think I heard some steam in the background. And was it on that UAB game, Rod, that I talked about my man's offense? It did get steam to the over 54.5 in that Alcorn UAB game. So, gang, Rod and I kind of disagreed, like I said, on the side. And the steam came in there as we were talking about. UAB's up to 30 now, Rod. 5 points. But you see that word here, Rod? You see what that's morning steam. That's why we're going to be here. You're going to have to suffer.
We steamed it. We steamed it all right.
Right? We're not making these moves up, folks. That's 5 points. We've been here, I don't know, probably been about 30 minutes as we talked about that game, Rod. And look at that. Oh, let me mention, though, the total here, as I said, getting steam to the over, it's up to 55.5 right now. That's only about a 1.5 move, but nonetheless. Okay. Baseball coverage continues here now with we can probably kick this one to the curb too, Rod, with the athletics. But we get to talk about Ginn here a little bit and Aguiar. Hey, this isn't the 1976 World Series here.
No, when you look at this one, JT Ginn getting a start for Oakland here in this one. It was supposed to be JP Sears Day, which is what I thought it was going to be. But I see he's been pushed out of this spot.
He's heading to the shelf, actually. I'll look it up.
Go ahead. Is he heading to the shelf? Is he done for the season?
Maybe not. Well, I guess at this point he might be, but
he might be. But for me in this spot, I think Aguilar for the Reds, you can't complain about what he's done so far in his first couple starts. He's looked real good. Got a couple wins. He went 6 innings last time out and only gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run. Time before that, only gave up 2 earned runs. You know what? I think you got to go here with the Reds to salvage a win here in the series. With it not being JP Sears and you getting his first start, give me the Reds here in this one.
Yeah, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I guess he just got shelled and maybe can use an extra day here. I'll follow up on that with you maybe tomorrow. But man, you're rolling with the A's again. We've talked about it, right? Did you say A's, Rod?
No, I'm going with the Reds here.
Yeah,
give me the Reds.
Okay, I do kind of agree with that, but I'll give out the under as my play here in this one with Ginn and Aguiar. Yeah, it's probably a bullpen game, I would imagine, here for the A's, but they've gone under in 7 of their last 11. I think Aguiar, not bad in those starts. Got a lot of run support, obviously, so I'll take the under, Rod, on the Reds. Let's see what the chat said in this one. We're almost through the baseball, and let's take a look. We've got Thomas likes the under with me here in this one, and Darren on the Reds, Fernando on the under. Juice may take the Reds, and Ellie De La Cruz for Justin likes his total bases over. All right, Braves here, and Morton taking on the Phillies, and Sanchez here in this one, Rod, for Morton. Man, talk about up and down, huh? I mean, he's also all of a sudden pitching pretty well again. 2.6 ERA in his last 3 starts, 4-1 record in his last 5 starts for Sanchez. Good numbers for him right now. 2.18 ERA in 13 home starts. Phillies just 2-5 though in his last 7. He's had a little bit of woes. Phillies have won 9 of their last 14 games. We're on the weekend series here. By the way, now on some of these night games. So we're getting started with a set here with the Braves and the Phillies. We saw, of course, yesterday the Braves win on the road with Sale 5-1. You and I rolled with them yesterday on the show, Rod. So what do you have here?
And for me in this one, now we see Charlie Morton's on the mound, and he's picked it up. He's pitching well over his last 3. And the last time out against Philly, he went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks in that one. But he's cleaned up his walks this season. He definitely not walking as many guys. He won 2 guys. And on the other side of things, Christopher Sanchez, well, he had a good start this season, but he's definitely cooled off from then. And against the Braves, he doesn't first so well. He's 0-3 in his last 3 starts versus the Braves, including one earlier this season about a week ago, where the Braves got the win 3-2 in that one. He went 6 innings, gave up 9 hits, and only gave up 3 runs. So he's lucky he only gave up 3 runs. You're going to give me the Braves at this big, giant plus price? I'm going to take them. Give me the Braves on the money line in this one.
Rod's on the Braves. I think the Braves are going to be pretty popular. It looks like the chat's kind of going Braves. Thomas is on the Phillies. Here's some unders from Fernando and Darren. That's where I'm going. I'm going under. Tariq will take the over here, but I'm going to trust these veterans a little bit here in this one. Game 1, big series here. Like, I like what I saw out of Atlanta last night. All right. Keep it rolling. Thanks, chat, for your plays in there. Rod, I got to ask you about this, man. Woo! Hey, maybe it's been a disappointing season for the Brewers. I mean, for your Jays, but pretty exciting to see what this kid did last time out and what he can do. I gotta feel like I'm a believer at this point in Francis here, and can't wait to see a few more starts out of him here down the stretch. Were you watching that no-hitter?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, exactly, right? He looked well in that against the Angels. He was so close to getting that too, and that's not the first time he's done that. Where he's only in his start where he's he started as a reliever. You got to remember, like they had him working as a reliever, and then ever since he's come in as a starter, he's went 5 innings. It was his first start. It was a 7-3 loss, but he only gave up 3 hits in that over those 5 innings of work. And 2 earned runs. He did give up a home run. And then the next time out, he went 7 innings and gave up 1 hit against the Angels. So he's basically 2 hit the Angels. He loves seeing the Angels. Let's put it that way. And then versus the Cubs, 3 hits. So you look over his last 5 starts, he's given him 9 hits over 15, 12, 27, over 27 innings of work. So give me the Blue Jays here in this one. I like what I've seen from Bowden Francis. That's an excitement. Good thing to see that it's a bright spot for a pitcher who's in the Blue Jays team. Nice young guy, looking like something the Blue Jays have needed pitching wise. Solid, stable guy on the mound. So, yeah, I haven't seen any, as Justin McAfee says, I haven't seen any strikeout props yet, too. I'm waiting to see some for Bowden Francis. Let's see. See what I got. I got over 5.5. It's plus 105 there. And he's hit that in 4 straight. So give me the Bowden Francis over 5.5 strikeouts at plus 105.
Yeah, can't wait to see. Those are great numbers. Great little sequence of starts here for Francis. 3-0 in those last 3 games. Really looking strong. And Cutter Crawford here. Was it him who had that start pushed back? Whatever the case, he's been struggling. 7.36 ERA in his last 4 starts. Red Sox have dropped 5 of their last 7 games. Here's our Thomas on the Blue Jays. Luis is on the Jays. Thomas says, Sox are tough to beat at home. They're under 500 at home this season, though. Ray on the Phillies, Phillies there. And let's see, that was the other game, but I want to shout out Ray. I don't think I gave him a call yet here today. Justin on the Blue Jays. Juice is on the Jays. Man, a lot of Jays action here. And I respect that, Jerry. I'm back on that other game, and that is part of the discussion with Francis as well that they've been talking about a little bit. So, all right, maybe Fernando's under in this one, and I think I see another one here. Toronto money line there for Thomas. So I think I got them all. Tariq, Toronto first 5. And Irish King, though, is going to lay it with the Red Sox in this one after they were able to. What was the score last night, Rod? 3-0, right? 3-0. With Bello. I know we talked them up, and we still ended up with Toronto in the over somehow. All right, can't get them all. All right. Well, good game here. Wow, this is a good series this weekend. Royals and Astros. How about Jordan yesterday, Rod, with the 3 home runs yesterday? Look, these Astros, just what they need to get their offense going a little bit, as hot as they've been on this big move here in the second half. That's big news to have Jordan cranking. They just need to get everybody back here, and they can do damage. Brown's been good. Singer's been good. That price is high.
Right? That price is way high. You look, considering you got to go way back to, it was April when these teams met. And we know Kansas City came shot out of a cannon to start the year, where they, in that first series at home versus Houston, they rocked them. They scored 28 runs, while Houston only scored 8. So far this season, if you go on aggregate price, it's 28-8 here for Kansas City so far in the season this year. When you look at those numbers, and they beat up on Hunter Brown earlier in that series. Hunter Brown won 0.2 of an inning. He got worked. So he's definitely looking for a bounce back. And we've seen good things from Hunter Brown recently. Since then, he gave 11 hits, 9 runs in 0.2 of an inning. So this Kansas City Bats are tough to go against at this plus price. I know where Houston plays their best ball all year. It's been on the road, not here at home after that travel spot. First game back at home off a road trip. Give me the Royals and the plus price here in this one.
Okay, well, I hope if it is the Royals, I'm going to go with the over here, Rod. I think the under is probably going to be pretty popular because of Brown, in pretty good form at this point over his last 4 starts, 2.19 ERA. I know what you're saying about the getting rocked there against Kansas City. I respect that certainly. I feel like a bit of contrarian here. I think people are going to lean to the under here. But let me see. Has it moved back? Has it moved down to? Yeah, it's 8 flat, and it was 8.5.
Flat
So
now, yeah.
I got to at least. I always say, Rod. I think you probably caught this on the show where I always try to put the word. Everyone's always out there fighting for the best line, but as cappers, I want to give out the worst line because I want to show that when you get to the window, right, you can have a line that's going to be a little bit better than what I gave out. So I'm always looking for the worst line. Here, I'll give out 8 over 15. I like the over here, but I can't really say 8.5. I think everywhere is 8 pretty much. So I get the best. I get the best of this one for once. Like I said, I think that people are going to be shifting to the under in this one with these two. Yeah, Singer. Yeah, this is probably his roughest stretch, it feels like, of the season here, but still Royals 12-7 in their last 19. Houston's actually slumping a little bit. I'll take the over as my play, and Rod's on the Royals.
As somebody said in the chat, Braden Singer against Houston. That time that he did get wrapped up against Houston, that goes back to 2022. So I'm not going to take onus into what Singer did in 2022. This season, sure, he pitched well in that game that I said. The Royals won 13-3. He went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, and only 1 earned run. So, and that 1 earned run was a home run. So I think he fared well against Houston. That was early though. Singer has fallen off a little bit lately, but not the Royals bats. They've been hot. I've been the Royals bats, and I think they get to Brown again here.
Okay, and it went 5-2 in the chat for Houston as a consensus play. So Rod's bucking the consensus here as I did yesterday on one. I don't know if I want to,
Did we win it?
I think I did win one over I went against consensus yesterday in a game and I won, but I'm not going to flaunt it. Let's just move on. Hey, Sports Money's here. Good to see you, Mike. Thank you for stopping in here today. Great to see you. Look at this. He likes us as a crew, and I feel really good about it. And hey, we're almost done, Rod, but I'll tell you what, this show's twice as I was complaining to Rod that I didn't like our first show together. I'm liking this one a lot better today for whatever reason. It feels like the flow is good. Maybe it was because there's football.
We got sports in there. We got some football going, and we've seen we made some nice picks, and we've seen some steam on those picks.
Let me do a couple more since we're almost done with the show, and I got a couple more that came in while we were talking about those last 2 games. So North Carolina A&T and Wake Forest. I think I skipped that. We passed. I think we had 2 passes on that, but the total on the total is moving to the over here, 49 here possibly at this point, 50.5 at Circa, 50.5 here at South Point, where, Rod, you can appreciate this. What I usually do is a couple times a week in the afternoon, I go over to South Point, put a few bets down, maybe play a few hands of poker, more than a few hands. And of course, the Vienna beef hot dogs are 3 for, basically $1.50 each. So
nice.
I usually grab about,
Costco price.
They limit you to 3, but if you tip the guy a little bit and the line isn't long, I walk out of there with 6. So
nice.
It's the world famous hot dog cart, and as the chat knows, they are Vienna beef. That's why I make the little 4-mile trip over there. Also, one more steam play here that came in. This one actually, take note, fam. Here, this one's big. Probably should have stepped on this earlier. Colorado game, we talked about it. I said go under, Rod. This one is being steamed to the under right now. Still only at 59. So, but with a higher volume game, the steam isn't going to move the line as much. But
did the line hit 10 yet?
I did no. In fact, you don't expect it to, do you?
No, I don't. But if it does, then I'm going to double my bet up on Colorado. Let's put it that way. If that line gets steamed back up to 10, because we know what happened. It hit 10, and it was just like mass money came in the other side. The books got scared. They put it back down to 9. I said they put it down to 9.5 is what happened. They put it up to 10, and it wasn't there for long.
9 at DraftKings right now, so I don't expect it to go. Because I feel like Colorado's the sharp side there. I feel like North Dakota State is a little bit of the
public dog in the house.
There's no problem. Like, if anything, for a public dog, this would be the spot if the public wants to be on a kind of a square side with a public dog. This would be kind of the one, it feels like. So
dogs do win. They do win once in a while. Oh, hey.
Look at how how were we characterizing the Colorado run a little bit last year, right? It was kind of almost the opposite to a certain extent there. Yeah, TCU was down. I don't mean to harp on that first game too much, but okay, Rod, one more here. And look, this is bad. Just because, look, the Orioles, this has been a bit of a swoon, no doubt about it. It feels like it's getting away from them to a certain extent. I'm sure they'll still be okay. This is a good record, but other teams are coming hot. The Yankees are doing their thing, and they're going with a pitcher that is struggling, a young pitcher. Like, they can't do any better than this right now. This is a problem here, it feels like to me, in a situation like this for the Orioles. If you can't put a pitcher out there better right now than Povich, I'm worried for them right now, actually. Not in this game necessarily. Yeah, maybe in this game too, but I think the Orioles, man, this is feeling a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, with Cade Povich on the mound here, he's definitely got worked a little bit. But you look at that side of the mound, Bobby Miller's got worked a little bit. He hasn't had a cruising stretch either. He's given up 25 hits in his last 3 starts, where he's given up 16 earned runs in those starts.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a battle here. I like the over again, just like we seen last night. But I'm gonna go with the Dodgers and the over. Same game parlay. Why? Because Bobby Miller at home, he's been solid. On the road, 0-3 with an 11 ERA, 0-2 with a 9 ERA over his last few. But in his starts at home, he's 1-0 with a 2.65 ERA over 17 innings of work. And pitched well. He's only given up 5 earned runs at home. I like the Dodgers and the over.
I will take the Dodgers with Rod, and I'll let him take the over. I'm not. Maybe I'm doing it too. Let me say it like this. Okay, I'll take the Dodgers, and I was on the over yesterday in the game, Rod. We saw 6-4. Dodgers get that win, and we were on them yesterday. We were on the Dodgers. You were on the Dodgers. Consensus was on the Dodgers. I was on the Dodgers, even though I hated to be so. Oh, man, Rod, we've run out of games. I got one more steam I could pass along, but I think that's going to do it for the show. Let me see. I think it just came across Murray State and Missouri. We already talked about the side in that game. Well, the total is moving now. I hope everyone got enough fill of the morning steam here, and I think they were important today. I had mentioned, you took Murray State plus that 45-ish, 47-ish, and I was leaning over, but I was afraid to give it out, and now Murray State, it's up to 59 at BetOnline, so steam came in on the over. Oh, let me run through the chat. I think they have some comments here on the Dodger game, and then we'll get out of here. Tariq leaning over. Jerry says give him Orioles first 3, first 5. Fernando on the O's. Thomas went with the over. Our Tomps on the Dodgers. Bobby Miller is the worst pitcher in all of baseball. Oh my gosh. They weren't saying that just a year or so ago. Sports Buddy said, I don't think we didn't have any tennis coverage here today, but I can't wait to get off the air and start to fire away. I know we're already underway here a little bit. And our Tomps, thank you. Oh, here's our consensus today. Just 3 plays. Tigers under, Padres, and Astros. Don't be fading our man, Rod Zawacki. Rod, tell us what's going on over at Tony'sPicks.com.
Over at Tony's Picks, I got a 3-pack of college football over there today. We're off to a hot start since I've come over here to Tony's Picks. So definitely jump on board something long term. That's your best way to go. Use what is it? Tony T is the checkout code for 15% off. Yeah, use the code Tony T at checkout, and that save you 15% off your place. Head on over and continue to stack the money in the sport. So definitely join me. A nice college football triple, and my 10-star of the day has been money as well. So join me as we continue to put that money into your pocket.
Hey, as I say, check out the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot, and you'll see Rod up there, up 6 1/3 units over the last 7 days. Take a unit a day, and I'd never show up if it wasn't for having you here with me, Rod. I've got a 3-pack in college football today. Check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Hey, all these individual packages are profit guaranteed. You must show a profit, or you're going to get credits back to your Tony's account. You can use them on another capper. If I fail you go with Rod. Vice versa. Rod isn't failing right now, but we just want you to have a winning experience here at Tony's Picks, so you'll get credits back to your account. Rod, we went long, but I think it was appropriate with our first day of college football today. So we'll get off the air. We know we're already on over there across the street.
Just before we head out, what I like to do at the end, I like to give a little 3-team parlay known as the bird cage, is what we call it here. We could just we get this little birdie thingy called. So my little 3-teamer of the day, we're gonna take the Braves on the money line, the Blue Jays on the money line, and the Royals on the money line. Nice little plus money parlay with 3 dogs.
All right. Appreciate you guys in the chat as well. Thank you so much, man. What a great turnout we had in the chat today. So won't keep you guys any longer. We got over 100 here today. So I think this is going to work out just fine. And well, we got big time with Rod Zawacki. Thank you so much, brother. Catch you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, here on the Morning Steam for Rod Zawacki. I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us. So long.